great about that, other than trying to help people who are in the state of disease. Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. It's an early edition today. I got to get on the road, people. Today is the 13th of March. That means my birthday's in 6 months. So I am 54 and a half years old today. Happy half birthday to me. This is episode 785 of the Immigration Answers Show. How's everybody doing? Did you see my TikTok today? Guess what? You know, I've been looking for and wondering for a long time whether or not USCIS and or the State Department is monitoring people's social media. But Axios had a pretty explosive report today saying that they're going to use AI to scrutinize all the international students in America's social media posts to see if they had anything overly critical of Israel or too positive for the Palestinians, and they're going to use that to then deport people. And obviously that's its own news story. But tomorrow I'm going to write about just this idea that they're using AI to monitor people's social media. I think you guys need to be thinking about that and to understand that and to know that they have that ability now, the State Department and USCIS, to monitor all of your social media. So, you know, it can start with, let's look for pro-Hamas posts, but then it can go to, hey, let's look for inappropriate behavior. Let's look for people doing drugs or drinking or catting around, all that stuff. So social media is fair game, of course, and they're going to be looking at it. So y'all need to be careful about that, and we really need to think about how that's going to impact the processing of visas and immigrant visa applications here in the United States. Again, my name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States. I see everybody in the waiting room. Thanks for being here. I will try to get through to each of you. Please be ready when I call on you. I'm going to start with Govind, and then I'm going to go to Freedom Now and then to Tin. So please be ready. Please be ready and please be concise. Yeah, we're being critical of the Trump administration. Exactly, Laura. That's exactly right. Big ups to all the Arties, of course. Hello, Donna. Hello, Lindy. Hello, all of our friends. Hello, Nurse Laura. Let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, I only have an hour, and then I got to hit the bricks a little later today, and we go from there. Let's say hi to Govind. Hello.
Hello, Jim. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah.
I have a quick question. I recently got my advance parole and EAD approved, and this is a marriage-based green card. And I also have my H-1B extension approved. So the question is, if I visit my home country, among these two, which would be the better option to use? Should I get a stamping and come through H-1B or use my advance parole?
Well, right now I'm telling everybody not to leave the United States for 6 months until we figure out what's going on with Trump and all their craziness. But putting that to the side, you would want to travel on your advance parole because you don't want to have to go to the embassy to get a visa stamp.
Okay. Sure, Jim. Yeah, thank you.
That's it?
Yep, that's the only
Easy.
question.
Thanks, Govind. See you, buddy. All right. That was an easy first start. Let's keep it going that way. Let's go to Freedom Now. Hello.
Hello, Freedom Now. Hey, Jim, how you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I like the sentiment.
Good. This is gonna be quick. If I want you to represent me, how do we go about that?
Sure. Just call the office, 314-961-8200, or email us info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Just give us a call. Say, hey, I want you guys to represent me, and they'll go from there.
Okay. So just put the YouTube, what's the name? The version. Right.
Yeah. It's info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Hacking, that's me, immigrationlaw.com.
Okay.
You don't have to say anything about the show just because we're not talking about your case, but just say I'm one of the gym's viewers and I'm thinking about
Okay.
hiring.
Right. Okay. That's it.
Awesome.
That's all I want.
Have a good day. All right, we're flying through the questions today. Tin is here. Hello, Tin. And then we'll go to Jay. Hello, Tin. Tin, are you there? All right. We'll put Tin in timeout and go to Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hi. Hear me?
How are you? Yeah, go
Good.
ahead.
How are you?
Great.
I'll try to keep it as efficient as possible, so I can go through a timeline or just tell you where I'm at and have you ask questions. What do you prefer?
Yeah, timeline, and then we can talk. Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, so in December 21, Venezuelana Maria crossed the border without documents, so entered without inspection. She was processed through USIS and ICE and released and given a notice to appear in Texas in July. And she moved to Orlando in February 22. I met her in May 22. She's been tracked by ICE, and when she went to ICE to get her permission to travel to Texas, they said that her case was not in the system, so they said she didn't have to go to the hearing. She filed for asylum in July 22. She got the receipt in August. We started dating in December 22. February 23, she moved in with me. Spring of 23, she got her work authorization, her driver's license, Social Security, TPS. February 24, we got engaged. September 24, we got married. I'm in the process of trying to gather the info for the I-130 and 130A. And a little side note to this is that I'm a quadriplegic and she's my primary caregiver. So I'm trying to figure out what the best path for her is.
So caregiver situations can be really tricky because if they think it's simply a caregiver situation, that makes it really, really hard to get a green card approved. So there's that. So think about that. Think about how you frame things and think about how you talk about yourself in the relationship and be careful on that. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so let's put aside the asylum case for now. If this was just a straight marriage case, you would have to file the I-130, get it approved. And then I would assume this was her only entry into the United States.
Yes.
So then she's going to need to file a 601A waiver. I would think the fact that you're a quadriplegic would make it a very strong waiver case when the time comes. But you're talking a year plus now for the I-130 to be approved. Then you start the process and then start the process of the State Department. Then you file the 601A waiver. That's going to take 2 more years. And then once that's approved, then she has to go to another embassy, probably not Venezuela, and get a stamp to try to come back to the United States. So it's a big, big project, what you're talking about.
So does she have to do we need to get an advance parole for her to go and come back?
Well, no, it's not advanced parole. She's in removal. So, or she may or may not be in removal. I would be very worried. I am very worried about what you said about the removal stuff. I would do a FOIA of her immigration court stuff. But if the court allows her to leave, it's not advanced parole. It's just that she has to leave. You have to get the waiver, the 601A waiver. It's a provisional waiver that says, hey, she has shown hardship. She has shown that if she's not allowed to come back to the United States, that Jay is going to suffer and that therefore the embassy should let her back in. But she's going to have to leave the United States and put at risk the ability to come back to the United States in the hopes that the embassy will give her a visa.
Okay. Do you have a minute for another question?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so part of this process, her nephew came with her brother, and the brother had a CBP-1, and when he came, they separated the nephew, put him into a center, and basically released him to her. So 2 questions. He's 16 years old. Does he need to register?
We don't know yet because we still haven't seen the full regulations, but it sounds like he's going to have to register. If he's already in removal, then he doesn't have to register.
Okay, and then the second, yeah, he did get a notice to appear
Yeah,
in
so
2 years.
he's registered.
Okay, then second question is, somebody said that we should try to get him the special immigrant juvenile visa, but
That's
somebody else said, no, just you should go for asylum.
Why not both?
Okay, well, I think they were saying that the juvenile visa has taken a really long time, but
Well, so does asylum.
okay,
Yeah,
I appreciate it very much.
Good luck, Jay.
Thanks.
All right. Let's go back to Tin, see if he's there. Tin or she? Hello? All right, we're going to clear some spots here. Tin must have been taking a nap. Jay is going bye-bye. Looks like Tokyo is back. Hello.
Hello. Give me 1 second, Jim. Let me get out of the office.
All right, I'll come back. Kelly again. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Thank you so much for taking my call again. Can you hear me?
I can, thanks.
Okay, so sorry. I was emotional last time and I didn't get all my questions, but I have it written down. So real quick, I have a 601 waiver pending right now. I already got the NBC document cleared and also my I-300 also approved. So I'm just waiting on the I-601A waiver. What would happen if I get detained by ICE? Because I'm really fearful about that.
So let's think about this. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're walking down the street, ICE knows who you are, and they say, hey, so did you enter without inspection? Did you have a visa? What's the story?
I did. I was brought here when I was 2 years old in 1992.
And you don't have DACA?
No, because DACA was denied because I didn't have enough evidence in 2012 and 2014 to qualify for me to have 10 years being here in the States.
Okay, so and again, I'm sorry. So you came without inspection. It wasn't a visa.
No, I came through the border. Yeah.
Okay. So I have enter without inspection, married to a U.S. citizen with an approved I-130, and you've definitely been here more than 2 years.
Yes.
And you have a waiver pending.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. So if you get put into removal, they probably wouldn't put you into custody, probably, and you would have to admit or deny the allegations in the notice to appear, and you'd get a court date probably 3 or 4 years from now. So I don't think you have to walk around worrying that you're going to get deported tomorrow.
Okay.
And I think that the tricky thing is if you're in removal, then how do we adjudicate the 601A, and then what happens then? So I think right now you just have to sit tight and hope that everything works out. Do you have a lawyer?
No, I have a paralegal, which I'm looking into seeing if I can hire you if we're able to afford you. Again, I did not even know that I was illegal until I was the age of 17. So
right. I was just talking to someone the other day. Yeah.
But yeah, my boyfriend, now my husband right now, knew this paralegal and she was able to get somebody else her DACA, so he referred me to her. And for the past 10 years, we've been going through her. But at this point, I think it's time for me to get a lawyer.
And definitely with a 601A pending, I think you want to have someone make sure that it's as good as it can be, because I think a paralegal, a notario, would have a hard time pulling off a strong 601A.
Yeah. I have a couple more questions. Again, I'm so sorry to take your time.
By the way, you said that you didn't know that you were illegal. You're not illegal. You're undocumented.
Yes, but in the current administration, Cheeto Puff administration, I'm illegal.
Illegal alien. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Crazy what we're living in, but again, so for when Biden was in office, he did the PIP parole in place. I applied for that and it was the court dates was November, I think before the election that it deemed not eligible, and so they didn't do anything. But I did submit all the paperwork. Well, in my husband was going through our finances, and in January 7th of this year, they took out the money for that.
Scumbags.
And I, my husband came to me, he's like, did our case move or anything? And I'm like, no. And he told me the amount, which was like 545, I believe.
Yeah.
And they told me that it got taken out on January 7th, which made no sense because it stopped in November.
Yeah.
How can we get that money back, or is it just gone?
I think it's gone, sweetheart. I think you might spend the next 3 years of your life trying to get back $545.
Okay, I just wanted to know if that was anything. And then
I did read something about some plan that Trump undid, and there was going to be a refund, but I don't think it was that one. I think it was something else.
yeah, I mean, if it's gone, it's gone. I mean,
Yeah, I think
I'm not going to sit here and fight for that much money, especially if it's not going to help my case.
Somebody in the comments just said, if you're talking about PIP for families, which you are, you'll get it refunded. Alejandra got her money back, so maybe just sit tight.
Maybe. Okay. And then the last question that I have is me and my husband are trying to start a family. So trying to get pregnant. Because I don't have a social, and I know the Trump administration deems upon people getting medical. And I can't attach myself to my husband's insurance, which he has a really good insurance. Is there anything that I could do or any suggestions?
Have you tried getting an ITIN number and see if the
I do. I have that one.
They won't take it?
No. Unfortunately, my husband, it works with like the government ish.
Yeah.
So they won't accept that. Also another question about that is that he's trying to get clearance, but because he's with me, he can't get clearance. Is there any way that I can get my social quicker? No, right?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay. All right. Those are all my questions that I have. Thank you so
Good
much.
luck, Kelly.
Thank you so much. Have a nice night.
Yep, for sure. Yep. Oh, what a nice lady she is. I hope things work out for her. I don't think Hina's on the call. Let me make sure. Yep, Hina's not here. So let me see if I can pull up some TikTok. I feel bad that she was undocumented. Never knew she was undocumented. That's the saddest part. I agree. Farhan's wanting me to take his call. You got to go over to YouTube, Farhan. Landy says, I was able to add my husband to my insurance with his passport number, but I think her husband works for the government, so I think that's tough. My green card expires 5/6. I just sent in my removal of conditions. Are they going to approve before the expiration date? Floral Foro says. No, they won't approve it, but they'll give you a 4-year extension letter while they decide whether or not to approve it. All right. Let's go back to Tokyo. Hello?
Hello. Hi, dear.
Right.
So, thank you for all you do. Also, okay, my question is this. I applied for my green card through my husband and then my adjustment of status, and I sent all of my application on February 28th. Now, I got notice of received the papers that Monday after, and then they took my money that week. Then the Monday after that, they say, oh, my case changed something on the email, right? And I check on the case, and now my I-130 went to, now is in case decision. My 485 is, the first tab, which is the receipt, is completed. The second tab, which is the biometrics, is completed. The third tab that says go to the interview is completed, and it went to the case decision. That is what it is right now. They didn't send me any notice. The only notice that I had in the 485 said that they were gonna use my former, my biometrics from other cases that I had. So does that mean that my interview got waived, or did they still send like things to go to interviews or things like that?
I think there's a 20% chance your case is approved really, really fast. I think there's an 80% chance that the online portal is just messed up and they're just processing your case like normal.
Okay. Well, then I'll just wait then, whatever.
Yeah,
okay.
Just wait. Yep.
Okay. My second question is this. I know I heard you say multiple times that you shouldn't change your name until you are a citizen. But we are hopefully trying to get a baby. I do not want my baby to have my single ladies. I mean, I don't want to have a different name than my baby. I
Go
didn't
for it.
thought about that.
Go for it. Change your name. It's all good. It's
Okay.
fine.
Do
It's
I
all
have to do it?
the only thing. What I hear from women who've done what you are wanting to do. The one thing I hear is they get sort of freaked out because their green card and their green card has their new name on it and their old passport has their old name on it, and then sometimes they worry about what's going to happen in the home country when they show up with a green card that doesn't match their passport. That's the only thing that it really messes up. Other than that, everything else is sort of fixable.
Okay. Thank you so much. And the last one, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, we got married last year. We have always done taxes separate because he gets 1099s and I get W-2s. I am OCD with that, so I tell my company to take as much taxes as they can so that I don't have to pay anything at the end. My
Yeah.
husband pays them completely different. He takes like loan payments and whatever. So I don't want to be in a situation where when I get my citizenship or when I get my 751 thing, whatever, I owe taxes, which I feel like that's what's going to happen if we do the taxes together. So is that going to be a big deal when I do the removal of conditions?
Well, I think it's a problem when you tell one branch of the government, yeah, we're married, and then the other branch of the government, you say, well, we're sort of filing separately. I would say for the time period that you're in now, it's better to suck it up and pay whatever the extra taxes are to file jointly.
Mm-hmm.
Because what the real game is to get your citizenship, I don't really care if you have to pay a little bit more in taxes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Sounds good, Jim. Thank you so much for all
Okay,
the
bye-bye. Yep. I have a shoplifting misdemeanor charge 22 years ago wanting to apply for citizenship. Should I worry? No, you can get your citizenship with a 22-year-old shoplifting charge as long as you disclose it on your green card application. That'd be the one thing I'd be wanting to make sure that USCIS knew about your shoplifting charge when they gave you your green card. Lonely is here. Hello.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Jim, this is the second time I talked to you. I think you maybe remember, or if not, I will remind you that I married with the green card holder for second time and second time out of status. And you
Okay.
asked me you should submit my wife need to submit the I-130 for me. So I want to know what is the benefit to submit as I'm out of status. So she submit the I-130 for what is the benefit for me?
Well, the government knows that you're here, right?
Yes, I'm in B1, B2 visa, but I'm out of status now. Yeah.
And right now you have nothing, right?
Yes.
Nothing keeping you here.
No, I have. I have my passport, evidence that I entered to United States B1, B2 visa in 2021.
Right. But
Now I'm married.
immigration-wise,
Yeah.
you have no status and you can't get back into status.
No,
How
I don't
long?
have any.
How long will it be before she becomes a U.S. citizen?
From today, she will come after 10 months. She eligible to apply for the U.S. citizenship. Like in January 2026, she eligible to apply for citizenship.
Right. So, so here's what I want you to think about. Let's pretend, Stakfalazim, that tomorrow you get picked up by ICE, right?
Okay.
And they're going to charge you with being a visa overstay.
Okay.
You have nothing, right?
Okay. Okay.
And I want you to have something, and that's one reason. One is I want you to have something. Number two, if you are ever going to get status in the United States, it's going to be through your spouse, right? So
Okay.
you have to file this at some point. That's number two. You have to do this, right?
Okay.
And then Number 3 is once she gets her citizenship, you can upgrade to the spouse of a U.S. citizen, and you're in a much better shape. And then at that point, if your case gets delayed, I can say, hey, look, Old Lonely's been waiting for a year and a half for his I-130 to be approved, and we could sue them to make it go faster. So I don't see a downside in filing it. They already know that you're here. I think that it puts you in a much better track. And then if you get picked up and put in removal, you can say, hey, I'm married to a U.S. citizen, and then you have or to a green card holder, and I have a path to stay, judge. Give me a court date in a couple of years and I'll have it all worked out, and they'll probably do that, right? And then the last reason I want you to do it, which might be the most important one, is if you file an I-130 petition before you get put into removal, it's much better than if you file an I-130 petition after your removal.
Okay. I-130s, my question is, I-130, how long does it take to process to get the approval for I-130?
A year
nowadays?
A year.
Okay, because I'm afraid I hear that if I file I-130 in 1 or 2 months or 3 months is approved, so I need to go out of the country and come back again in the long process. So I want to stay in the country with my wife. I mean,
no. If that I mean, you couldn't do that because you'd have a 10-year bar on coming back. If that happened, and I doubt that it will, but if that happened, you would just sit here and wait to file the 45 until. I mean, you're in a bad situation right now. We're just doing triage. I'm a hospital ER doctor in a MASH unit trying to keep you alive, right? So it's not like we have these great choices. You're not going to leave. You're going to sit here and wait to see if she gets her citizenship, and then you're going to adjust.
Okay. So to prove that, just to clear myself to the immigration department, you mean?
To get the whole thing started, you got nothing. And then the other thing, there's one question you didn't ask me that I think you should be asking me. Don't you know what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. What is that?
Hey, Jim, am I going to have to register under this new registration system? That's the question.
Okay, so what is about that? I mean, can you explain me more?
Yeah, so yesterday the government published a rule. You should start reading up on this. There's a rule that says if you're undocumented and you've been here more than 30 days, you have to register with the government. Otherwise, you could have to pay a $5,000 fine or go to jail.
Okay, so without 130, it should be fine.
I think with an I-130, I think you would also actually have to register. Yes, I do think you'd have to register.
Register with USCIS?
Yeah, and you're going to get fingerprinted. Yep.
I ever do the fingerprints before, and actually I'm registered. I have an account in USCIS.
Recently, but there's a new registry coming out where you have to basically tell on yourself. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you what the rules are. I'm not giving you advice on whether or not you should do it, but you should at least be looking at the rules and figuring out if that's the right thing for you to do.
Okay. So I just need at the moment I-130 to file only.
I would.
That for which I can contact you via email in your email address.
You can and you should file it yesterday.
Okay, Jim, thank you very much. The final question is only one more question. Once my wife, she is eligible to apply for citizenship, by the time will be our marriage more. So when I apply for adjustment status, should I get the conditional green card after 2 years married, or
my brother, you are the most optimistic person I've ever heard of. You are way out of status. You got all these problems, and you're hoping to get your 10-year green card. I love you, brother. Yeah, you would get a 10-year green card. Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. I will contact you via email. My name is Londi.
You're more optimistic than me.
Thank you, Jim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. After all that, he says, "Hey, Jim, you think I'm going to get a 10-year green card?" I'm going to have to tell Monty about that. That's some chutzpah, as they would say in Yiddish. That's some chutzpah to say after all that. Oh, you think I'll get my citizenship? Wow, that was funny. All right. What's going on in TikTok? I think Hina has entered the discussion. Let's see. I don't know. I saw her pop up. Oh yeah, here we go. Can I take a 2-year-old kid for a USCIS interview if she's a U.S. citizen and I don't have interview invitation? Well, you would never go without an interview invitation. And I would generally not bring a 2-year-old kid to an immigration interview. I'd get a babysitter. I'd bring their birth certificates, but I wouldn't bring the kid. There's nothing good happens if you bring the kid. It's just going to annoy everybody. Vicky, entered the USCIS by the southern border and I applied for asylum. Is it possible to apply for work authorization? Yeah, it depends on how long you've been here, but yes, it's possible. If a person does not register, can they be deported when they register? Yes, they can be. I think that's what this is all set up for, is they're trying to scare people with jail time into reporting on themselves so that they get put on ICE's radar so they can deport them. Do you recommend traveling out of status on a new 1-year green card, no arrests or bad records? I don't think I would leave the United States under that fact scenario. Thank you, Hina. Hina's taking screenshots, so she must have something going on because I see myself in the background. All right. This is the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. If you like the show and want to do us a quick favor, please go to reviewhackinglaw.com, reviewhackinglaw.com, and leave us a 5-star review. We'd really appreciate it. It really helps us because sometimes people get really mad and leave us a 1-star review for no real good reason. So it's nice to balance those things out. I would appreciate it if you have a minute to do that. All right. Let's go to Talia. Hi, Talia.
Hello, good morning, Jim. Thank you for having me.
Sure. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. So I'm just going to give you a quick background of my status and then jump into my question, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so I've been in the US since I was 14 years old, and I've been in the country for 28 years now. I came on a non-immigrant visa, and my visa expired in 2009. So I've been out of status for the past 16 years. My father, who's the one I came on the visa through, had the opportunity to file for my green card at 21, but he chose not to. So when my mother finally received her citizenship, she filed on my behalf. So I do have an I-130 petition through my mother with a priority date of March 2019. So as that is processing, because I think they're currently looking at applications from 2015, I still have a few more years of wait time. I have a son who's a US citizen who will be turning 21 next year.
Nice.
So I'm thinking of filing, the I-130 petition through him next year. So my question for you is, with everything happening around immigration lately, is it better for me to stay put and wait and file through him? Do I need to leave the country and file, outside the country? But with that, of course, I have that visa overstay, which will impact my application. How does the 601 waiver come into this? So I guess, what is my best option if filing through my son?
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so these are all the things that I'm thinking about based on what you said.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pretend that all we were talking about was your mom's case first. Okay, so let's focus on mom's case. So you are not an immediate relative. I mean, legally you are an immediate relative, but in immigration, you're not an immediate relative. So it is only the spouses, the under 21-year-old children, and the parents of U.S. citizens who are forgiven automatically when they go through the green card process for being out of status. So you're actually inadmissible because you've been here out of status and you're not an immediate relative. You are in the F1 category as the unmarried daughter of a U.S. citizen, right?
Yes.
So if your priority date was current right now, you would have to file for a waiver to show hardship to your parents, that if you were to be deported and they relied on you, that they would suffer exceptional hardship if you were stuck outside the United States. So, and you would have to go outside the United States under the risk of not being allowed to be back in, and it would be very, 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 very stressful.
Okay.
That's issue number one. So not a great plan, but it's better than nothing.
Okay.
Option number two, when Sonny Boy turns 21, Sonny Boy can file an I-130 for you, and then you are an immediate relative of him, a 21-year-old U.S. citizen, right? And so at that point, you would not need a waiver. You would just simply file an I-130 petition and an I-485 for adjustment of status.
Okay. So that's my best option then, is to stay put, don't leave the country.
I can't tell you what to do. I can't.
Okay.
I can just tell you what the different options are. Then
Okay.
there's the last piece, which the last caller didn't ask me about too, is that you would be one of the people subject to this registration requirement. And
Yes.
if you don't register, you would face imprisonment and a fine of up to $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the question for me is that nobody really knows yet, because this is all like the plan hasn't even started yet. But riddle me this, Batman. Would somebody who has a 21-year-old son who was able to stay out of the clutches of ICE for 21 years and is now eligible to adjust because of the son turning 21, if that person did not register, would they be inadmissible, or would they not be able to adjust status? And that, my friend, I think will be litigated probably around the time that you're eligible to file for your green card. So
Right.
this is a real, and frankly, Talia, I haven't really thought this through because I haven't had a fact pattern yet to put the usual overlay. If Kamal had been elected, then it would seem almost like a no-brainer that you would just hang out till he turns 21. But now with this registration requirement, it's a different analysis.
Right. Okay. And then I think in terms of registration, I waited too long to file for DACA, but I did file for it in 2021. But that's when, Biden was coming in, and then the program was placed on pause.
Yeah.
But I believe they collected my biometrics for that, because I filed the 821D and then the I-765 at that point. And I did go to, so does that mean I'm registered, or do I need to register again?
I'm not going to tell you either way.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That is not the kind of registration that they're talking about.
Okay. Got it. Okay. This was helpful. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Mm-hmm.
Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
She's got a great radio voice. She should be on radio, I think. All right. Let's go back to the old TikTok. Are people bothering Hina in the chat? Please don't bother Hina in the chat. Can I kick people out? Who should I kick out? Don't be annoying, assholes, in TikTok. Be nice. All right. And definitely don't be mean to Hina. Hi, my parents just received their work authorization card and social security card, but the permanent card isn't here. Yeah, it's going to take a while. If a student is on an F1 visa, OPT, has no taxes, and marries, will it be an issue? Yes, you should pay your taxes. That's a question on the 485. Do you owe any overdue taxes? Giamma is here. Hello.
Hello, Jim. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so quick one. I came with a B1, B2 visa, and I'm only left with 2 months to go back. And unfortunately for me, I've gained admission to do my master's here. And then I want your help on the visa extension and how to change my status.
You did get admitted to a master's program? Is that what you said?
Yes. So I've gained admission to do master's here in the United States. Okay.
And is the school willing to give you an I-20?
In fact, they've not given me the funding, so I have emailed them for financial aid. So it's still in the process.
Well, nothing can happen immigration-wise until you get the I-20. The I-20 is the document that a university would give an international student to allow them to apply for a visa or an exchange of status, right? But you should know that I'm not a big fan of changing status in the United States on a B1, B2 visa to F1. And there's a couple reasons for that. Would you like to hear them?
Yes.
Okay, number one is it could take a year for them to approve that, and then you're sort of hanging in the wind, sort of out of status, sort of not in status, and it's very frustrating and stressful for the person in those shoes. That's number one. Number two, You promised the government that you were coming here to do a visit visa and that you were going to leave at the end of 6 months. Even though they technically allow you to file for a change of status, they still don't like it, right? So I would recommend that you nail everything down with the university, that you go back home and you apply for a student visa. That's what I would do.
Okay, so it's not advisable to do the status, the change of status here, right?
Well, this is what I want you to think about, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You said you got like 2 months left, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you get an I-20 from XYZ University. XYZ University says, yeah, we want him to come here. We want him to get his master's. He's got enough money to support himself. And you say, Jim, will you file for a change of status? And I say, boy, I really don't like these, but if you really want me to, I'll file it for you. So I file a 539. And then you go past your 6 months. So that's when the stress starts, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Then you have Trump bitching about immigrants every day. So that's going to make you more stressed out. And then you're going to start school, but you're going to be in limbo. You're not going to know if you're really going to be approved. Then, of course, there's a chance it doesn't get approved. And they're like, yeah, you promised us that you were going to come home. And then all of a sudden you decided to go to grad school. We think that was your plan all along. We think you made a misrepresentation. We're going to deny this case. Right?
Yes. So if you are being denied, you stand a chance of being deported, right?
If you're denied, you go straight to deportation. Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Under the new rule. Yeah. So I think it's much safer, smarter, and better to go all out with the school, get all situated, and then make an appointment at the embassy to go get your F1 visa stamp and hopefully come back. You're going to have to show that you can support yourself. You're going to have to support that you have the academic chops to do the grad program and all that stuff. But I think that's much better than being here in no man's land with the threat of deportation hanging over your head.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Good luck, brother.
Okay. Thank you very, very much. I'm grateful.
Yep. I'm grateful too. There is a discussion that DACA may start back up. I doubt that Trump will let that happen, but the Fifth Circuit issued a mandate the other day that seems to suggest that DACA cases may start back up being receipted, but I just don't see that happening. I think that whatever evil plans Trump had for DACA will be accelerated by the court's ruling, if that makes sense. In other words, yes, technically they may be empowered to start accepting new DACA applications, but I think that Stephen Miller et al. Will shut that down pretty quickly. Abby is here. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, Jim. I'm doing good. Thank you for taking my call. I just have like a question.
Okay.
My lawyer is about to send a I-601. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a deadline. So she told me next Friday.
Okay.
But I'm kind of confused because he's putting like the extreme hardship on my son, with my son. And he's the one that petitioned me.
What's the thing that you're trying to waive?
A criminal past, Jim, 38 years ago, to be exact.
Okay, well, I don't have all my stuff with me, but there are little carve-outs, and I think crime might be one of them where a child can be the qualifying relative. I'd have to check to make sure, but that might be possible. But your lawyer says that it works?
I had another lawyer, Jim, before her.
Yeah.
And I think she didn't do really a good job because when I went on 2022, I laid out my case to her. I said, I've been without status for the past, since 1980, basically,
Yeah.
with three adult, professional kids, and
Right.
because of the afraid, what I did. And let me tell you what I did, It was welfare fraud, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And so, but I did it, and I cleaned that. But I know for UCIS, It's still there. I know. So back in the amnesty, I applied, and I had permit back then in the 88. But when UC sent me the letter, congratulations, become a permanent resident permanent, I
Yeah.
told the truth, Jim. I told the truth because there's a questionnaire there that it says, have you ever been arrested? Thank God I say yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been honest. I was honest. And so what UC did gave me the time to like clear, that record. But I was on probation for 5 years. So obviously, it didn't collide with the time that they were, offering. But nothing happens, no deportation, no nothing, thank God. So I continue, I passed the everything. So I went back to the judge, and they reduced the crime, okay, to misdemeanor. So there's nothing really on the FBI, okay? So
Okay.
anyway, I decided in 2022, because my son is a veteran, my oldest son, and, through the military parole.
Yeah.
So they approved it. I got my I-30, approved. But when I went to the interview, February 10, my lawyer, I think, messed up a little bit there because she didn't prepare me, by the way, So the OC's officer, really nice lady, she asked about that, if I was a conviction. And my lawyer says, oh, no, and it was, I go, and then she looked at me, and I said, no, yeah, there was a conviction. So I was honest. By the way, she appreciated me. Because
Yeah.
they knew, Jim,
Sure they did.
So
Sure they did.
anyway, yeah, they know. So anyway, so she says, I'm a little concerned, about this. Maybe more info or a waiver. So I said, okay, my lawyer, okay. So we were leaving, and I said, ask her, please, how long will she respond to this? And she said, about 2 weeks. Exactly 2 weeks, Jim. I got the intent of deny my I-45, right?
Yep.
So that's why I'm doing the waiver. But my lawyer, I can see she's very confident. She said she has told me that she does all these waivers all the time and never lost one. And I asked her, if they deny, what is that after, and how long do they take? She told me 2 years, and she'll appeal. So my son, he just had an interview with a psychologist yesterday, and since he had 2 aneurysms, Jim, on the first one, when he was in the Army, he passed away clinically for 14 minutes.
Wow.
And then he just had another one back in 2001. Yes, sir. And he was in the military hospital for 16 months, and me after him, there. So anyway, that's probably her strategy from my son, that he petitioned me, and he wants mama here, because
Yeah.
I am here with him, even though I married my American citizen husband, and he lives close to Houston. I'm staying here most of the time with my son because he still struggles a lot mentally, and it's been a challenge, and it's been rough, So I don't know. Your advice, or do you think we're doing do you think my lawyer is doing we're doing the right thing?
I do. I do think your lawyer's doing the right thing. And
Me too, Jim.
I do hope that you get your waiver. I mean, you've been waiting a long time to get into status, haven't you, Abby?
Oh, yes, Jim. Look, the first time I came, I was a kid. I came back in 1976. So thankfully, back then, being a kid, I didn't know, but my sister married an American guy, and so we crossed the border with no, back those days. It wasn't like right now. So I got my Social Security, genuine, real. So when they just assigned me the Social Security back in December, they confirmed my Social Security. And actually, I'm up to like withdraw my Social Security, retirement, because I have worked all my life, Jim, okay? All my life. So, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I would like to continue working a little bit, but yeah, it's been a long, long time, and I think I already paid my dues, and it's been long time, and I have been honest most of all, Jim. I don't regret it because I know a lot of people had lied about stuff. I know, but I didn't, and I feel good.
You're a good woman, Abby. Keep us posted. Let us know how the waiver goes, okay?
I will. Oh, Jim, by the way, I went to the police station yesterday because my lawyer, so they know how it is, And by the way, it's in Texas because it's tough here. So
Yeah.
my lawyer sent me to the police station to get my record clean, obviously clean. I paid the $30. They gave me the clean thing. I wasn't afraid to go, Don't be afraid. This is my message. Don't be afraid because God is with you, okay? And then I went to get my my license, my driver's license. Thank God, and I got it. So thank you so much, Jim. I feel more confident now that you just tell me that my lawyer is good and she's doing the right thing. Thank you so much.
I love you, Abby. I wish you good luck.
I love you too, Jim. God bless you and your family. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Oh, man. What a great call. And I needed that because some fool on TikTok says he's going to report me to the bar. Thank you, Abby, for that. I wish her all the best of luck. What a journey. Oh, my God. What a journey. And her son, I hope he's doing okay. I hope she gets her green card. N400, early filer. Hello.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Hey, man, the old days where it was easy to reach you are long gone. I guess that's a good sign, man.
If I don't get in before we send out the text, I can't get in myself to the waiting room, and then there's no show at all. So we have to totally do it differently than we used to.
Yeah, well, let me tell you this, Jim. I'm very, glad that it is that, right? It means that you're doing good things. All right, Jim. So let me jump straight to my question. It's very easy, as the title says right there. I filed for my N400 like 3 weeks ago under the three-year rule, but of course I did it as an early filer, right? And I heard on your video that you don't encourage the people to do that, but I did it because I didn't see your video at the time. So my question to you is, what am I looking for here in terms of timing for my N400 to be approved and hopefully push the I-751 as well?
When did you file the N400?
N400. So my green card. So I filed it like 3 weeks ago because my green card was issued in April 11, 2022.
Okay. And where do you live?
I live in Virginia, around Fairfax.
Okay, so we have a ton of cases in Fairfax. I would say probably 8 or 9 months for both the 751 and the N400.
Okay. All right, great. So I guess that is my question. I hope like another person can also ask because we're close to the to the end of the video. So all right, Jim, thank you.
Bye. All right. Sounds like you worked at a glass factory or something, didn't it? Hina did send me, even though there's a bunch of rude people on TikTok today, she sent me some more questions. Let's see. If you come through the border, you're on parole, can you marry and change your status? Maybe, Winston, you need to have someone look at your paperwork and see what your parole was like. But as of right now, the answer is yes. Responded to Annoyed 2 months ago, but I haven't heard anything yet. What do you think? It depends what was in the Noid and what they wanted and whether you gave them what they wanted. Could take 6 months, could take a year, could take another week. I have a consular process pending, married to a U.S. citizen, but I came on my tourist visa. Can I do adjustment of status? Yes, Joni, but it's tricky. So you probably want to talk to a lawyer about that. It depends on when you entered and all that good stuff. But yes, technically that is possible. Biometrics in November 2024. How much longer before I get a response? Oh, I don't even know what kind of case it is, but it could be anywhere from 8 to 12 months. My niece has a J1 visa. Can she enter the U.S. early before her program? That's a good question. I doubt it. I would think that you can't enter until the start date on the visa. No one's ever asked me that before. I have a trip outside of the U.S. I have a Class C misdemeanor. Well, I have an issue being admitted. I'm an LPR. You definitely need to want to have a lawyer research all that and tell you whether or not it's safe to leave the country. Will seeking spousal support as a new immigrant affect my 10-year green card status? Husband cheated and left. That's the least of your problems. I'd be much more concerned, Blissful Miss 876, about proving up the marriage and getting enough evidence to show that it was a real marriage. Requesting spousal support in a divorce is not going to hurt your chances of getting a 10-year green card. I'll tell you that. All right. Probably got time for one or two more. Let's go to Anastasia. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, we're not doing anybody on camera, guys. Okay. Can you turn off your camera for me?
Oh,
Sorry.
That's no worries. It's for you. It's not for me.
Yes. So I came to this country as a minor at 1990 with my mom. I was 14. I was a refugee from Azerbaijan, Baku. I'm Armenian. I got refugee status in Moscow. And we flew in the 1990 here when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
And a little later, I, partied a little bit and got into the bad crowd, got caught with ecstasy in the year of 2000. Nothing big, but, just, I guess it was a felony. I got suspended probation here in North Carolina. Then I got picked up by ICE agent and taken me to Atlanta facility, where my attorney at that time got me out off of deportation and I got, I think, withholding of removal status.
Okay.
I think that's what it was. And at the same time, we filed the application of asylum and or withholding of removal status. It was like a 100-page application. And when they released me on the bond, I got a $20,000 bond. They released me. And then my lawyer asked for my green card back. The ICE agent gave me my green card back. And I still had 5 years left on that. Then when 2005 came, I filed for my next green card, and I was issued a new green card. And then another 10 years went by. I again did the same thing. I never lied on application. They asked if I was ever convicted. I said yes. They issued another green card. So now forward to 2025 right now, I need to file for another green card. And I did, and it took them about 6-7 months. And I said something is wrong. I mean, it doesn't really take that long, but now they send a letter. It's a letter of notice of denied intent to deny my green card, saying that they did have an error giving me green card this whole time. That I am maybe, they don't say for sure, but they say maybe not eligible for a green card. And if I'm not eligible for a green card, what am I eligible for?
Well, if in fact all the judge gave you was withholding of removal, then the INS officer made a mistake in giving you your green card back, and you probably shouldn't have been getting a green card all these years. If withholding is what you got, have you gone back and requested your entire file from the immigration court from way back then?
No, I don't even know how to do that. We're trying to hire you right now, and we already filled the application with your office and everything.
Yeah, so I think what we have to do is we have to FOIA your file from USCIS and the immigration court to figure out what it is that happened, and then figure out if we can challenge the denial of the new I-90. It's crazy, but they do make mistakes like that, and I don't know that you should have gotten a green card back. I don't know.
Yeah. So also there is a letter from my previous attorney, which was was written to the ICE officer that was arrested me previously, and he's explicitly asking him to return my mom's passport that he had in possession and my green card to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he did that. I stopped by the office after
Why did they have your mom's passport?
Well, my mom is a United States citizen, and she was trying to help me to get out of the jail. I guess they had her. I have no idea why.
So I think that the green card to me is sort of a secondary issue. Right now, all you really have, if all you have is withholding, you don't have much here in the United States, right?
Well, I have 3 kids, business, and my whole life.
Are you married?
Yeah.
To a U.S. citizen?
No.
What's
she's from Ukraine, and she doesn't have anything. Philippe pretty much was depending on me, but
right.
And we were waiting on my green card so we can do her paperwork. But this is the letter I got. And but you know, my attorney in Atlanta said, yeah, you can always get your green card, but not your citizenship ever. And I said, well, I guess that's fine. So,
well, here's what I'll say. I've never in my entire life heard of somebody who only has withholding getting a green card renewed over and over. I've never heard of that. So I think that's very unusual.
So what else do you think I have that they just can't find?
I think you have a withholding order, and that's all. And you weren't supposed to get the green card, and they've been making a mistake for 25 years. That's what have you left the United States and come back?
I've never left the United States since 1990.
Yeah, don't.
I don't. I mean, do I need to worry about somebody picking me up right now?
I wouldn't say that until I see your file from immigration.
Okay.
And I mean, withholding of removal is to keep you from being deported. They would have to reopen proceedings and try to deport you. So no, they're not going to just grab you and try to deport you. But I don't know. I mean, it's crazy times. I don't think you need to be worried about that right now. Right now, you just need to focus on figuring out who's right, them or you.
Right. And also they said when I filed for the new green card, I asked them that I did it 6 months prior to expiration date.
Yeah.
And then I asked them, why haven't I received? They said, well, you have automatic 2 more years of that green card. So you have time. Is that true?
It could be. But now that if it's denied, then that won't be true. You know, you might have gotten cancellation of removal. That might be what you got. But I guess you don't have any of those papers from back then, and you haven't talked to
I do have the papers from back then, yes. I
Right,
saved everything.
You're sending them to us?
Yeah, I mean, I sent, so far I only sent this notice of intent to deny my I-90. And if they ask for anything else, then yes, I'll send whatever you need.
Okay, well, I want to see whatever, if you have anything from the immigration court, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, from immigration court, I looked, there is the granted of withholding to removal.
Yeah, then you probably shouldn't have got a green card.
Why do you think this ICE agent handed me the card himself?
I don't know.
Oh.
I got to get going, okay? We'll follow up, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a good day. Wow. Crazy time, crazy time. Slippin' Jimmy in the house. Big ups to all the Yardies. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I hope you all have a great day, especially on TikTok, even the haters. But I like the lovers better. So have a good day. Tomorrow I'm on the road. I'll probably do a show in the afternoon. I don't know when yet. So the best thing for you to do is to text the word show to 314-470-3300, 314-470-3300. That's how you get in the waiting room before the show starts, so you can ask me a question. We send out the link. Once I know when I'm going to be back in St. Louis, Heen will send out the link and we'll go from there. Everybody have a great night. Have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye, guys. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion. I mean,